everyone, to this beautiful spring morning. We're glad you're here. This community is what it is because of your presence. So welcome. Welcome into this space of love, support, justice, compassion, fellowship, and worship. We enter this relationship of community and fellowship with the desire to find connection and togetherness across generations. In the words of Leah Angiri, we are weavers of one story. Here we are, together, each facing our different human tasks, or maybe the same central one, to embrace the lessons life delivers, to discern and respond as we grow, to refuse harm and cherish flourishing. May we know ourselves as vessels of infinite possibility, holders of each other's heartaches and tales of joy alike, weavers of one story in which we each have a part. My name is Sarah Walker, and I'm a member of the board here at QUUF. As we gather, I acknowledge that the water, land, and shorelines here in Port Townsend are the traditional territory of the S'Klallam and Chimicum peoples. We honor and acknowledge our indigenous members and neighbors and vow to help restore and sustain their homelands. If you're visiting today, I offer you a special welcome and invite you to join us for refreshments and conversation in the fellowship hall after the service, which is out the door and to your right. We have a newcomers table near the patio doors where our greeters are ready to answer any questions you might have. Welcome to you all this morning. We are glad you're here. And I think I just heard something that reminded me, and all of you as well, perhaps, to silence your phones. Here are our announcements. There are 2 fabulous friendship suppers left in the church year. You can sign up on the table in the foyer for a great opportunity for good food and conversation. June 8th, save the date. After the service, we will be honoring the Reverend Linda Hart with a grand British tea party lunch before the annual meeting. We will celebrate Linda and thank her for her transformative ministry. Finger sandwiches, salads, fruits, and Linda's favorite, carrot cake, are on the menu. Sign-ups to volunteer or bring something that will be sign-ups will be on the bulletin board by the office, so straight out the door. It will be a Linda Palooza. See the weekly update for more information, including submitting something for a memory book for her. I kind of mentioned within that announcement that our annual meeting will be on June 8th after the Linda Palooza and after the service, so we need you to be present for that. And I'm just mentioning, I have no details, but today we will be having a fire drill at the end of the service, and our ushers and greeters will be our guides. So let us settle our minds and calm our hearts.
Easy on the earth, lightly on the water. Remember this place is for your sons and daughters. Easy on the earth, lightly on the water. Remember who this place is for.
Easy on the earth,
easy on the earth, lightly on the water. Remember this place is for your sons and daughters. Easy on the earth, lightly on the water. Remember who this place is for.
You get your kids to a garden, with the garden they'll grow, and they'll learn to go easy, they'll learn to live slow. Get your kids to a garden, with the garden they'll grow, and they'll learn to go easy, yeah.
easy on the
Easy on the earth, lightly on the water. Remember this place is for your sons and daughters. Easy on the earth, lightly on the water. Remember who this place is for.
I get your kids to a river, with the river they'll flow, and they'll teach them how to paddle, it'll teach them how to row. Let your kids to a river, with the river they'll flow, it'll get them where they need to go. I'm going
Easy, easy, I'm going easy, yeah. I'm going easy, easy, I'm going easy, yeah. I'm going easy, easy, I'm going easy, yeah. I'm going easy, easy, I'm going easy, yeah.
let them
See their reflections wherever they go, in the rain, water, flood, water, sleet, hail, snow. Let them see their reflections wherever they go.
easy on the earth,
Easy on the earth, lightly on the waters. Remember this place is for your sons and daughters. Easy on the earth, lightly on the water. Remember who this place is for.
easy on the earth,
Easy on the earth, lightly on the water. Remember this place is for your sons and daughters. Easy on the earth, lightly on the water. Remember who this place is for. I'm going easy on the earth, lightly on the water. Remember who this place is for.
What a lovely way to start. Thank you, choir. Our opening words are by Tom Rhodes. We come in a variety of colors, shapes, and sizes. Some of us grow in bunches. Some of us grow alone. Some of us are cupped inward, and some of us spread ourselves out wide. Some of us are old and dried and tougher than we appear. Some of us are still in bud. Some of us grow low to the ground, and some of us stretch up to the sun. Some of us feel like weeds sometimes. Some of us carry seeds sometimes. Some of us are prickly sometimes. Some of us smell. And all of us are beautiful. What a bouquet of people we are. It is so good to be together this morning. Will you join me in our chalice lighting words? We gather this morning as one community a community united by common ideals, love, justice, diversity, freedom, mutual care, custody. Yet look around. Look at the faces around you. Each face represents an individual. Every one of us has our own story, needs, strengths, and faults. We light our chalice today, honoring our common connection and also the uniqueness that lives within each of us. Let's join in singing. Our opening hymn today is number 63 in the Great Hymnal, if you want to follow along. Spring has now unwrapped the flowers. Right. If you read music, don't. Does interesting music, and that's why singing it to a familiar tune is a better thing, just to note. I'd like to invite the children to come up for a story, and that includes anyone who is also interested in being up here for a story, no matter who they are or what age, because everyone is welcome at the time for all ages. Good morning. That is a fabulous hat. I want a fabulous hat. All right, we have a few folks. You might come over this way. I was trying to avoid the stuff. Okay. All right. So we have so today, the adults and I we're all going to be doing our flower service, which is a special ritual that we do once a year in the spring, where we bring flowers to the church and we share them with each other. And so I wanted to provide a story about a garden. Do any of you have a garden at home? Anybody? Do you? What do you have in your garden?
I have cherries.
You have cherries?
2 apple trees.
And 2 apple trees?
Blueberries.
And blueberries. Man, I want to come visit you guys. And some what? Strawberries.
Roses.
Do you want to go live with them? That sounds wonderful. What else? Anybody else? Yeah? What do you have?
We just planted a bunch of plants. We have squash.
Squash,
Beans.
carrots, kale,
Kale,
cabbage, a lot of
tomatoes, cucumbers.
tomatoes.
lettuce,
Oh, man.
Basil.
Okay, which house do you want to go to? That sounds wonderful. Anybody else have that?
We have golden raspberries.
You what?
Golden raspberries.
You have space?
I have golden raspberries too.
I'm missing it. Golden raspberries. Whoa, okay. Well, this is a story about a garden in an unexpected place. And I like gardens that are in unexpected places. So the curious garden. There once was a city without gardens or trees or greenery of any kind. Can you imagine? Most people spent their time indoors. As you can imagine, it was a very dreary place. However, there was one boy who loved being outside, even on drizzly days when everyone else stayed inside. You could always find Liam happily splashing through the neighborhood. It was on one such morning that Liam made several surprising discoveries. He was wandering around the old railway, as he did from time to time, when he stumbled upon a dark stairwell leading up to the tracks. The railway had stopped working ages ago, and since Liam had always wanted to explore the tracks, there was only one thing for a curious boy to do. Liam ran up the stairs, pushed open the door, and stepped out onto the railway. The first thing he saw was a lonely patch of color. Wildflowers and plants were the last thing he expected to see up there, but when he took a closer look, it became clear the plants were dying. They needed a gardener. Liam may not have been a gardener, but he knew that he could help. So he returned to the railway the very next day and got to work. The flowers were nearly drowned, and he had a few pruning problems. But the plants waited patiently while Liam found better ways of gardening. As the weeks rolled by, Liam began to feel like a real gardener, and the plants began to feel like a real garden. Most gardens stay in one place, but this was no ordinary garden. With miles of open railway ahead of it, the garden was growing restless. It wanted to explore. The tough little weeds and mosses were the first to move. They popped up farther and farther down the tracks, and they were closely followed by the more delicate plants. Over the next few months, Liam and the curious garden explored every corner of the railway. Don't you want to go there? Anybody want to be there? Yeah, I do. Look, it's just blooming everywhere. After spending his spring and summer and autumn with the garden, Liam's time on the railway was finally interrupted by winter. Heavy blankets of snow fell on the city that season, and for the first time since he'd become a gardener, Liam could not visit his plants. Rather than waste his winter worrying about the garden, Liam spent it preparing for spring. After 3 cold months, the snow finally began to melt, and Liam rolled his new gardening gear to the railway. Winter had taken its toll on the garden, but thanks to Liam's planning and handy new tools and a little help from the sun, the plants soon woke up from their winter sleep. The garden had always wanted to explore the rest of the city, and that spring it was finally ready to make its move. Once again, the tough little weeds and mosses set out first. They popped up further and further away from the railway and were more closely followed by the delicate plants. The garden was especially curious about forgotten things. A few plants popped up where they didn't belong. Others mysteriously popped up all at once. He's a sneaky guy, isn't he? But the most surprising thing that popped up were the gardeners. Look at that. All of the different things that they're making. Who loves the elephant? Come on, who loves the elephant? Just seriously, I'm asking here. Many years later, the entire city had blossomed, but of all the new gardens, Liam's favorite was where it began. And there it is. Look at all that beautiful greenery. It's amazing, isn't it? Yeah, that's wonderful. So I would say let's all be gardeners. Let's just keep making green and beauty everywhere we go in all the kinds of ways we can. It's not only plants, right? Thank you for being up here with me. And let's, the adults on the aisle, please form an arch. And let's sing our kids out to their morning program.
Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the spirit of love surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go. Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the spirit of love surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go.
We pause for a time of generosity and to receive an offering which today goes to the gathering place. I invite Laurel Hunter and Linda Ferris to tell us about it. Hi, Linda.
Good to see you. Place is good. Good morning, everyone. I'm Linda Ferris. Laurel and her daughter, who has Down syndrome, Devry, couldn't make it today. They have had several medical problems, so we're sending them lots of prayers. And I just want to thank all of you over the years that have supported so many nonprofits in this community, and there are a lot of them. So we feel very honored to be able to speak in front of you today for a couple minutes and tell you what's been going on. This is our 31st year, and it's amazing because we are now starting to build a new building, all of our own, up at the Port Townsend Business Park. And we are hoping to break ground in about 2 or 3 weeks. And everyone is very excited. It's only taken us 2.5 years to get to this point that I can stand here and say that. And we just do so many wonderful things for people with disabilities at Gathering Place. They aren't to be feared. They have their own special personalities, and we all get to know them, and they're just like one of us. So if you see one on the street, just say hi. A couple may not say hi back to you because they're taught not to speak to strangers, but don't worry about that. In our classes, we do music, exercise, movement, and then we have art on 2 separate days because you probably know we have our Port Townsend calendar, and for the last couple years it's been all of our own art. And I've left a couple, several calendars out in the back for you to have complimentary today if you don't have one. We also make Yummy Dog biscuits, which is our most popular class, and we have about 35 people who actually attend that, visit volunteers, 17 participants from ages to 18 to 70. We also are serving Port Townsend High School with 5 participants, Chimacum High School with 4 participants, and things are really growing and coming along, so we are very happy. Some of you may know that we had our daughter Megan, and she was the inspiration for Gathering Place in 1994 after she got out of the Port Townsend High School, and it was almost 5 years ago now that she went to her final resting place. But people thought Gathering Place would stop, but that isn't the case. Megan is sending us her love and light all the way from heaven and guiding us every day for what we do. And so many participants remember her, and it's just wonderful we can build this building in her honor. So if you feel like you can make a contribution to our building, that would be wonderful. And I just want to thank you very much. You're a wonderful group. I know quite a few of you.
Thank you. The ushers will come among you now to receive the offering, and additional ways will be projected. Please join me in our offering words. This fellowship is a community of ourselves. Its energy and resources are our energy and resources. Its wealth is what we share. As we contribute to the life of this community, we affirm our lives within it.
Well, this song is written 2 weeks ago, especially for this service, and I've never performed it, so bear with me. Lots of flowers, flowers, flowers. Daffodil on a hill, singing her song. Tulips are singing the refrain. They say, have no fear, buds are here, spring's on its way. Awake from our slumber once again. There are flowers, flowers, flowers. Flowers, flowers, flowers. There you are, little shooting star, by my boot heels, yellow and red streaking by. Drink it up, buttercup, dandelions are fine. Love those yellow flowers, they make me sigh. There are flowers, flowers, flowers. Love those flowers, flowers, flowers. Edelweiss, very nice, on a high mountainside. White star-like flowers make me sigh. Forget-me-not in shades of blue, forget-me-not. Soon mountain flowers will appear. Lots of flowers, flowers, flowers. Love those flowers, flowers, flowers. Friend to bees, here to please, sweetheart and friend, and to honor those who passed away. Mother's Day, a big bouquet, iris and peonies. Love and devotion here to stay. Lots of flowers, flowers, flowers. Love those flowers, flowers, flowers. When a rose hits your nose with fragrance sublime, gardenia and lilac fill the air. Shoot! Like a song, it drifts along in the summer breeze to sweeten up your life every day. There are flowers, flowers, flowers. There are flowers, flowers, flowers. Daffodil on a hill, singing her song. Tulips, they sing the refrain. They say, have no fear, buds are here, spring's on its way. Awake from our slumber once again. All those flowers, flowers, flowers. Love those flowers, flowers, flowers. Thank you.
Thank you, George. That was fun. We set aside time each week to share joys and sorrows, knowing that our personal joys and sorrows are only a small portion of the joys and sorrows of the larger community of life. And so we will place our first stone today, thinking in particular of those for whom Mother's Day is a difficult day. Within the congregation, we have a couple of fun joys. Kareem Santiago and Taylor Corrigan were married at North Beach last Sunday, May 4th. Woohoo! We wish them and Sage and Koali a wonderful life together. And we'd light another candle to celebrate the birth of Callum Walker, grandson of QUUF members Kathy Stevenson, Mike Morrissey, and Scott Walker. Callum was born on May 5th, weighing 7 pounds, 4 ounces. It is a joy to have him in our community, and we send him and his family blessings. We place a final stone, thinking of the joys and sorrows that I have shared, but also thinking of such joys and sorrows that are among us but remain unspoken. Thank you. I invite you into a time of quiet and reflection together. As I noted, Mother's Day is often a difficult day. And I think it's important to mention that, and to also think about those in our lives who have mothered us. Let us come into a time of reflection and meditation and prayer. We'll have words and then a time of stillness together. From where have we come? This breath, these fingers, a heart that opens and closes, opens and closes. What has made this body, feet and legs, hair and teeth? We come into consciousness in the middle of the story. The world and its vast life reaches far beyond we knew and grasps at a future that we cannot see. And here we are, living these days, for better or worse. Whatever acts of chance occurred to bring us to birth, whatever happenstance laid this particular path for our lives, in these moments of calm and stillness, let us open our hearts in gratitude for the gifts that can be found along the way. For love, given sweet and free, for peace in the morning and the warm colors of sunset, for the grace of companions and the moments of ongoing birth as our hearts are renewed, and for those who have offered us the gift of mothering, no matter their age or gender, those who have tended and cared, who have offered support and comfort, who have stood by and stood with us, those who have given us life by birth or by presence in their lives, presence in our lives. Let us pause in stillness together. So may it be. Amen.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, what
see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry, I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world, wonderful world. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Oh,
So friends, every year flower service comes around and I spend the week before worrying about whether there'll be enough flowers. Every year. It doesn't stop. It just doesn't stop. Last week, I was chatting with one of my pals from the time that I served in London, my friend Ant, and y'all know that as a British, right, short for Anthony. Ant had returned from a week-long visit to Prague, a city that he has come to love, where he preached for the Czechoslovakian Unitarian congregation in the morning with the aid of a translator, and then to their English-speaking congregation in the afternoon. The Unitarian Church in Prague, founded by Norbert Capek, is alive and thriving in the 21st century. Capek was born in 1870 in Bohemia, which is now part of the Czech Republic. Initially hoping to become a priest, he shortly after he started pursuing that abandoned Catholicism to seek ordination in the Baptist faith. He was, from what I can gather, a deep thinker and brilliant preacher who built a wide following. But he was also critical thinking and came to the attention of the German government who were occupying Czechoslovakia at the time. They didn't appreciate his progressive views, and it became clear he needed to leave. He and his wife and their 8 children moved to the United States, to New Jersey. Marie, his wife, died shortly after he arrived, but he remarried rather quickly to Maja, who was his partner in ministry, another Czechoslovakian who was living in the United States. I have always been amused by his strategy for finding a religious community. He sent his children, all 7 of them, to church and then questioned them as to what had been taught that morning. Each week, not approving of the message, he would select another church for them to go to and send them there the next Sunday, and so on and so on. That is, until they came home from the local Unitarian church. Surprised and intrigued by what they reported, he attended and found a home there. After being welcomed as a minister by the American Unitarian Association, this is before the two faiths, Unitarianism and Universalism, merged, he was welcomed as a minister and went on to serve a congregation in New Jersey. After the end of World War I, he and his family returned to Prague, and there he and Maja founded the Liberal Religious Fellowship. He was dedicated to taking Unitarianism back to his country. As I noted, he was both scholarly and deep, and his extended sermons drew large crowds. But in all of that, he found that it was missing some power, the power of ritual, to bring people together, to connect them. So one spring morning, he invited the people of the congregation to bring flowers, any flowers at all, on a Sunday morning. They could be just roadside weeds that they picked on the way to church, some blossom of a delicate color, or the hardy perennials planted in a front garden. All manner of blooming plants were welcomed in. Girls in white dresses would receive the flowers in vases out in the entry hall, where they would arrange them into vases, and then at the beginning of the service, they would process them in and place them in front of the congregation. At the end of the service, everyone got a flower to take away. Such a simple, sweet ritual. My colleague Tony Johnson says this about this. As Norbert Capek wrote in 1961, the flower was chosen because no one had ever been killed in the name of a flower. As they had been for the cross and other religious symbols, it was a reminder of the importance of the congregation as a free space in an increasingly oppressive society. In his original description of the first flower service in a letter to the American Unitarian Association President Sam Elliott, Capek wrote of his symbolizing the free and non-prejudicial acceptance of each other. Capek used words like race and class in his delineation of the prejudices that should not stand in the way of acceptance. They held this every year, as we do. But at the onset of the Second World War, the American Unitarian Association offered Capek the opportunity to return to the United States. He chose not to, but sent his wife and children, not including his eldest daughter, who remained in Prague to support the people of his congregation. I can barely imagine the danger of that moment and how difficult it must have been for him to send his children and his wife away. The two of them, he and his daughter, had a radio forbidden by the occupying army. They kept it hidden except for listening to the news when it was safe to do so. He was a known opponent of the Nazis, and eventually their apartment was searched and the radio found. Both were arrested and Capek was sent to Dachau. I gather that even there, in the presence of such evil and death and destruction, he led a flower service, inviting other prisoners to gather what random weed they could find to keep in mind their common humanity, a ritual that emphasized their ongoing relationship to each other and to the wider world. I can imagine that they might have sung the song, the hymn that he wrote in camp before he was eventually sent to the gas chambers. These words from the first verse. View the starry realms of heaven, shining distant empires sing. Sky song of celestial children, turn each winter into spring. Great you are beyond conception, God of gods and God of stars. My soul soars with your perception. I escape from prison bars. You, the one within all forming, in my heart and mind and breath. You, my guide through hate's fierce storming, courage in both life and death. Written in Dachau. For many of us, I suspect the God language chafes a bit, but the message that there are powers of community, joint action, of goodwill, and the longing for justice that can carry us through times of upheaval and sorrow, of fear and loss. That his faith in goodness, in resistance, in his companions, in the fight endured, even in the presence of such evil and destruction, inspires me in these times. One hesitates to make comparisons to our current day, though the rendition of migrants and legal residents to mass incarceration certainly rhymes with those times. The refusal of due process, the lawless administration, the destruction of centuries of norms and rights, the ongoing gaslighting, the lies. Well, I don't need to tell you all the bad news. It's likely too present to you too. But this ceremony, this gathering together, this celebration of the beauty of the earth, the love of life that is fragile yet powerful, the belief in the goodness of our joining together to sing praises in the midst of all that demeans and destroys beauty, to lift up truth and love. We do it because we must, because it is what supports and sustains us. It is the vision of what we can be that we continue to live into. So we gather and we celebrate, so we continue in resistance and hope and love. That's what we're doing here, friends. I want to offer to you in closing today these words by poet David Budbill that has come to mind over the last several months. It's called What We Need. The emperor, his bullies and henchmen terrorize the world every day, which is why every day we need a little poem of kindness, a small song of peace, a brief moment of joy. Let us all seek to find those, and encouraged by our companionship and our faith in the right to succeed, let us go forth and make the world we dream of a world realized. So may it be. Our closing song is Mother Spirit, Father Spirit, one of Norbert Capek's songs. And, oh, right, the flowers, gosh. So Pat's going to play some more music, and I invite you to come forward now and take a flower, not the one you brought, but some other flower, and everyone participates. Whether you brought a flower or not, we have plenty. So let's choose our flowers. Thank you, Pat. One last one. Did you have your, I was going to say, did you have your eye on that all along and we're just waiting? All right, now let's sing. It's, if you want, it's in the Gray Hymnal number 8, Mother Spirit, Father Spirit, written by Capek. Closing words today. In this community, we give and receive. May we go forth now to share the bounty of our love. May it be so with us all. Please join me in the words for extinguishing our chalice. We extinguish the flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, fire of commitment, or the power of transformation. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Well, friends, you will have heard that we are having a fire drill now.